Hello. What a busy couple of weeks I've had, especially since the last Nielsen Ratings episode. It's been all go here with one kind of appointment or another, trying to get my book ready for publication, trying to get the play sorted out, and with zero funding for either of these projects, quite a challenge as well. So never easy doing things with no money, but you know, when you're a creative, one must persist. So just to remind people before I bring my guests in and we talk about our main topic today, I just want to remind people that once again, I have a play on in October, and actually it has to be said, the tickets for it are selling pretty fast. We have a large number of people now coming to pretty much every performance. So it's not unrealistic to say that this show will definitely sell out 100% before it opens. I'm almost certain of it. Yeah, so very, very likely that it's going to sell out before we open. This is Seven Magnificent Egos, the making of the Magnificent Seven. It's got a cast of 8 fantastic actors. That's 7 lads and 1 woman playing all the female roles, and she plays some of the male roles too. It's extremely funny, and it's on just for 6 shows only in October. People are already booking, as I said, so do get in there. And don't forget to sign up to the Rachel Percy Jet if you're coming from America. Jet hire portion tickets available. On that note, let's bring Rachel in. How's that plan for world domination going?
Well, step at a time. We're getting there.
Excellent. So far, you control most of North America. Keep going. It's getting there. Good to see you, or you know, see your cat. How's your week been?
It's been all right. I've just been writing like crazy. I wrote 15,000 words last week and 10,000 words this week. So
That's good.
I think I did pretty well.
That's how many chapters is that of a novel?
That is, I think I'm on chapter 10 right now.
Great.
They're short chapters. I like to keep my chapters short.
Yeah, I've my chapters vary in length, it has to be said, especially on my new book, Back to Raving at 50. Some chapters are like 4 to 6 pages, and then you know you might have another chapter that's like 15 to 20. But hey, it's my book and I'll do what I want. So
no
on the
one can stop you.
That's right. On the subject of someone who can rarely be stopped and often does what he wants, it's the Lord of Toxicity.
Hey, I need you guys' writing ethic right there, man. Damn, that is some good progress. I'm actually in awe of you, Rachel. That's great.
Well,
didn't used to be that way. Trust me.
I started Back to Raving at 50 at the end of October last year. So we're coming up, that's probably about 10 months. And I finished the first draft of it in June. Now it's all like rewrites and you know, grammar corrections and things like that. But Tox, it is, I've got the physical copy of it here, and it is page numbers wise, it's nearly 450 pages.
Wow.
So wow, that's impressive.
Pretty big novel. I'll put my camera on. Here it is. Back to Raving at 50. Bit of a meaty tomb. What's funny actually is I went clubbing on Saturday, and all of the people that are in this picture on the front of the book with me were all there. So I got pictures of them all holding the book in the club that we were at. So you know, different people at different times, along with a couple of others as well. So that was a ton of fun. And yeah, we went to, oh my god, we went to one hell of a rave on Saturday. I got to tell you guys, it was off the charts. It was next level amazing.
Burned
Here
through some glow sticks, did you?
do you know what? I did not. I had them on me, but I didn't get them out because it had so much light that they wouldn't have been any good. I did get the light whip out after about 4 o'clock. But there's me with Noosh, who often goes with me to these things. Yeah, it was, but I mean, this thing was amazing. There was about 2,500 people there, so it was pretty good. Talking of 2,500 people, that's the same number of people that have been eaten by Critical's spiders this week. Where do you put all the bones?
Can neither confirm or deny, but it is an army bred for one purpose: destroy the world of men.
Great to have you back on the show. We do have a pretty packed out panel today because we've also got Northern English Bastard in the house.
How did I get here?
I don't know. You opened the door and you came in. And then also we're expecting Enzo to join us later. And I normally like to keep this to 4 people, but we will be 6 here. Enzo is just taking the pooch to the vet, but hopefully we'll be on shortly. So so today we have one main topic to discuss, which is the career of Terence Stamp, who sadly passed away the other night. Definitely one of my favourite British actors of all time. And he's also been in some absolutely fantastic films. He has been in his, like every actor, he's been in his fair share of tosh. And if you want to see a particularly fun piece of tosh that he's been in, you may want to check out a film he made in Spain, which was very low budget. It was sort of based on a book by Jules Verne, but not really, because it was a sort of rip-off of Mysterious Island. And they renamed it Mystery on Monster Island. And it's got some really interesting model work. Every time it cuts to a shot of this boat on the sea, I was like, is that in someone's bath, or what's going on? So that was quite fun. And I think they actually have the model in the shot in the office as well when the actors are doing a scene. But the whole film actually is on YouTube. I'm going to put the link for it for people in the chat. So if you want to watch it, there's also a very, very borderline racist portrayal of a Chinaman, as you would expect of kind of films of this era. But I mean, it very, very sort of two-dimensional portrayal. But yeah, not one of his finest efforts, but it is a film that's quite entertaining. I mean, it's the sort of thing that Retro Nerd Girl may well review on her channel one day, and it's quite an obscure film because I'd never even heard of it before, and I've seen most of the films along this, these kinds of lines, because I watch a lot of stuff like this, and I'm a big fan of Mysterious Island, and seen various versions of Mysterious Island, but the Ray Harryhausen one, of course, is the best one. But what we're going to do is we've got a poll with 4 of Stamp's most sort of well-known roles and films. Many people may not have seen The Limey, but it's there. I am going to talk about that one because that's going to be one of my picks. So just sorry to show you the model work. Yeah, try not to laugh when you see this. This is not Jerry Anderson, Derek Meddings standards. This is a shot of the boat in that film moving through the sea, and it's a pretty tiny. I don't know how big that model is, but it's not very big.
It's only a model.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a really small model. I mean, normally you'd get something a bit bigger in a bigger tank, but clearly they couldn't afford that. So they've got this really, really tiny model. Anyway, the whole thing's on YouTube. There's some pretty interesting monsters that sort of turn up out of nowhere. and I'm kind of trying to work out if the gag in that scene is that they're actually supposed to be men pretending to be monsters, or if they're really monsters. This is some slightly better model work of the ship on fire, kind of standards. But yeah, you may want to check that out. Terence Stamp is in it. He's not just got a cameo; he's in it a fair bit. So that is that's available on YouTube for free. So my panelists are going to get to talk about certainly one role or film minimum each. But before we do that, and in case we've all picked Zod as Superman 2, I'm going to just talk about that role quickly myself. It's not my pick, but I do think that Terence Stamp has got one of the best looks, one of the best stares of any actor of his generation. And that made him perfect to play General Zod. And I think he is one of the best superhero villains of all time. Definitely the best superhero villain in any Superman film, reboot, cartoon, or otherwise. I've not seen a better portrayal of a villain in a Superman movie. And I'd probably go further. I'd probably say he's played my best superhero villain in any superhero film. So I'd like that to be our first point of discussion. I'll get some Superman 2 pictures up. So on the topic of Zod and Zod only, his role as General Zod, Rachel, agree with my assessment, disagree, and if so, who's your alternative choice?
No, I absolutely agree. He brought a quiet menace to it that Zod needs. He doesn't need to be over the top and psychotic like the other version that we have. I prefer Terence Stamp, definitely.
Who else played Zod? Who else did we get?
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon.
I will find him.
I will find him. Which? No, I'm taking it from the interesting screams that people generally did not approve of this portrayal. Which version of Superman was Michael Shannon in?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
Oh God, do you know? You tell me that. I have seen Man of Steel, and I don't even remember him in that film. What does that tell you?
There was a lot of punching, and that was it. There was a lot of punching into buildings.
Probably that your memory's fading.
He didn't have the quiet control of Terence Stamp. Let's put it that way.
I remember very little about that movie. I'll be honest. I just didn't think it was. I thought he was a great Superman. Other than that, I just the story just didn't grab me. I just wasn't. You know, the death of the father scene with that whole tornado stuff, I kind of thought that was bollocks. He definitely would have gone and rescued him.
That was ridiculous.
That scene didn't work for me at all.
No one would have noticed if he'd gone and come back. Nobody would have noticed. He moves that fast. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So, all right, let's not go down a rabbit hole. Let's rein it back into the topic in question. Terence Stamp. All right. So Rachel agrees with me. Okay, Lord of Toxicity. Best supervillain ever portrayal, or do you have an alternative?
I mean, he's certainly a great one. It wasn't my pick for my favorite role of his, but I mean, he definitely made an impression on me. And
no, I'm not asking if it's your favorite role of his. I'm asking if his portrayal is the best supervillain in a superhero movie of all time, or do you have an alternative suggestion for that accolade? And that also goes out to the chat. If you have an alternative suggestion, please put it in the chat.
I mean, just because he's constrained to the era in which he didn't get as much time to shine. I don't think in the 70s they were thinking about, like, let's make, the villain. I mean, he also had to compete with Gene Hackman, didn't he, for in that role? So, I mean, but I thought, he's definitely up there in the top 5 for sure. I mean, he's great. He's not only great when he's menacing, he's great when he's like incredulous. Like like my favorite line from him in that movie is when Luthor is kind of clapping at him when he's kind of talking shit, and he's like, why do you say these things to me when you know I will kill you for it? And he's just so matter of fact with that. I always think that's just like one of the funniest lines from the film. And he's great. It's a great role. I can't think of anybody else except for him as Zod. I've seen a couple different iterations, including the Michael Shannon one. And it's not that they're not good in their own way, but I mean, definitely he really set the bar, and I don't think anyone's even come close to it since then, for whatever that's worth.
Okay. Critic Al, same question.
Yeah, I mean, he's up there, isn't he? If you were talking about the quiet, controlled menace of the man that does not need to shout because he doesn't need to ask twice, then I think, yeah, he nailed that.
Right.
Best villain of all time of that type, definitely. There are others, like, you've got sort of the Joker, the various, various iterations of that are very different. They're the chaos, the crazed madman. But if we're talking about the general, the quiet authority, then yeah, Terence Stamp Zod for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. It's like, who would you want to see a feature film about that is just about that character and that character's story? Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker, or 2 hours with General Zod having fun destroying another planet that he reaches before he reaches Earth,
Yeah, I'm not sure anybody has fun around Zod for that long, though.
Well, I'm sure it would make a 2-hour movie
eventually. Depends how loyal you stayed, I suppose. I mean, that could be one hell of a movie, couldn't it? Watching Zod, how he rose to power. That would be
it would be interesting to do one of those things that Cannoli did on his channel sometimes, where you do one of those versus to get the ultimate. That they did one ultimate sports movies, it was, and I think it ended up being Rocky IV versus something, I forget what, which was quite, and I think Rocky IV won, which was hilarious. Even beat the other Rockies. So it'd be interesting to do a big chart of superhero villain portrayals and see who ends up being.
Like it's a knockout type thing, sort of.
It's a knockout. Yeah,
tournament. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good to do, actually.
That'd
you could think of there'd be so many you could think of.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I'd also, I don't know if you can really call him a supervillain, but I'd put Khan from Wrath of Khan up there as well. Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a superhero genre film, though. That's a science fiction film. Because then if you go into that region, then you could have Darth Vader in the same category.
True. Yeah, Darth Vader's more of a superhero than Khan. I'll give you that.
Well, just saying hello to some people in the chat. Jammer Lammer is here, or as Keith would call him, Stud Muffin. Good to see you. Proctophile is also here. If we're considering all the actors playing villains in Superman, well, I'm talking wider than that, but I'd place Clancy Brown as the best among them. His Lex Luthor is amazing. I do love Clancy Brown as an actor. He is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, really, really do rate him.
Wasn't he in the Penguin? He was one of the
he was.
Yeah, he was.
Bosses, wasn't he? Mafia bosses.
Maroney.
Yeah, he's great.
Northern. Agree or disagree? Favorite top portrayal of a villain?
Yeah, he's in my favorite because as much as I love Michael Shannon as an actor, and he is a really good actor, but he's really shouty and he always screams a lot. And with Terence Stamp, he just kind of keeps his calm and composure, and he lets everybody know he's in control because he's in control. And he does do some very good deadpan delivery, just like Toxic said. I even like the other line where Sarah Douglas goes to him. He actually cares for these creatures like pets, and he's like, "Well, I suppose so." Just very casually. He's just so good, and he's definitely up there with my favorites, like Heath Ledger's Joker and Josh Brolin as Thanos as well. And I think, talking about this now, I think Thanos is pretty much close to General Zod's level of villainy in a way, because he wants to he's sort of like trying to sort of dominate the world, but in a much more different way, you know, like he's trying to have some kind of control of the whole universe in some kind of messed up altruistic way that he believes is good, while Zod is a bit more, you know, he's just tyrannical. He's pure tyrannical.
Megalomaniacal.
Yeah, megalomaniacal.
Mm.
Kneel before Zod, or as that man said to me in prison, kneel before Toxic. Okay, so let's move on. Tox, I'm going to go with your pick first, and I think you want to talk about Young Guns.
Yeah. This is probably not something that people pops up right in their mind when they think of Terrence Stamp, and that's okay. But for me, growing up watching Young Guns, me and all the kids in my neighborhood all had like assigned characters to each other. You know, like one guy is of course Billy, and then another guy's Charlie, and things like that. So I'll give everybody. I was about to say, if you guys want to guess who, I always came up as Doc, because I always had a book in my hand and I was always correcting everybody's grammar. So, but doing as much violence as Billy himself. But yeah, no. But the funny thing was, like, none of us had a father figure growing up. And I love John Tunstall's father figure, stern, you know, he's not just a ward boss. He's not just a merchant. And I know that it goes against the real life. You know, I've seen all the other stuff on, you know, what the real life John Tunstall was and all that, but I don't care. I'm going about this performance, and he imbues this performance with so much patriarchal kind of caring for these boys that are, you know, runaways. He makes sure that they know how to read. He makes sure that they are well dressed and well fed. He makes sure that they're well cared for and all of that. And, you know, ultimately pays a high price for it as well. And I love him in that film. I think that I cannot imagine anybody else doing anything better with this. And I also realize it's not, you know, a huge role. He, you know, spoiler for a 40-year-old movie, he does, you know, pass away early but that's like the pivotal watershed moment that, you know, the call to action for all of our heroes to fight against the corrupt Santa Fe ring in that way. And they loved him and respected him and cared for him so much. They were willing to, like, just, you know, 6 or 7, you know, young guys taking on this like army in his name. And I just thought that speaks volumes. And so, you know, I could see that having been a discussion early on in the movie. You know, they were like, listen, you're going to have to be this guy that's this focal point for this war, you know, that these kids love so much that they're willing to, you know, go so far out of bounds for. And I think he does that. I think he accomplishes it. I can't tell you, we did this on Losers Lounge, I think last year. And I still get the same feeling of, you know, like this, you know, he's such a great father figure in this role. And he has such quiet dignity in what he does and how he's kind of standing up against the corrupt Irish politicians. So yeah, it's definitely my favorite Terrence Stamp role.
It's a good, I mean, Young Guns is, you know, it's one of those kind of slightly pseudo modernized westerns with a thumping rock soundtrack and all that, but it's a great fun movie. I'd be interested to know, you said, you know, the real John Tunstall maybe wasn't that much like him. What have you found out with your historical research there?
Well, you know, when this movie and the sequel got really popular, they did a lot of, you know, History Channel, back when History Channel did something besides Pawn Shop Wars and, you know, Ice Road Truckers. When they actually, back then, they would talk. And, you know, so the real John Tunstall was only a few years older than Billy himself. And he was kind of a dandy. He was kind of a foppish, you know, arrogant guy that just, you know, kind of, you know, ran around, you know, saying, you know, I'm going to be the next big noise in this town. I'm going to be the next big cattle baron, you know, coming from a life of privilege and things like that, and kind of just walked into his fate. Whereas, you know, you see John in the movie, as Terrence Stamp plays him, is more of a, like, he would prefer, I mean, he's smart enough to know he needs some protection. but he's also he also would have been willing to negotiate and have, whereas the real life version of him was kind of just I mean, it was more, I think he was more Timothy Chalamet than Terence Stamp was the real life version of him, at least from what I've read and seen in those kind of documentaries and stuff like that. So
Right.
yeah, and he had more of a him and Billy kind of buddied around a lot more. They, as opposed to him just being, he would go drinking and whoring around with Billy, kind of took a shine to him, and fell in love with the idea of the famous gunfighter Billy the Kid, and kind of wanted to be around him and a lot. Whereas, the Terence Stamp version and Young Guns that we know, he was more like trying to rein him in and keep him kind of under control, exploit his brain, as opposed to, his quick hands with a firearm and things like that. So
be more of a father figure, as it were.
Yeah.
As opposed to a hair and makeup advisor.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. I do like that film. What would our panel give Young Guns? How many stamps would we give Young Guns out of 10?
I like that.
As a film as a whole, and also, as a stamp movie. What do you give it, Tox? Oh,
it's a 10 out of 10. There's 10 for every reason that I mentioned, but so many more. It stays in my top 10. I don't differentiate Young Guns in 1 and 2. I consider them like one film. So
Okay.
it's completely like it's the premier Western. I realize it's a modernized Western, but I mean, when you consider the fact that it's almost 40 years old, I'm not really sure that title is applicable anymore. You know what I mean?
That would be a good stream to do, actually, dude. Young Guns 1 and 2. A tube of fat. So that we'll talk.
Especially with the third one coming up soon.
Oh, is the third one coming out?
They are working on it's in development now.
Is Billy the Kid going to come back as the old man again? Like, what's going on?
I have no. I mean, yeah, it'd almost be like, yeah, he probably wouldn't even need the makeup at this point, would he?
I don't have any. I know it said on the titles that I died a few years later, but that was actually untrue. And I got a cyborg arm and a bionic heart. Now I'm.
Please do not give Hollywood those ideas. Please do not do that.
He'll be a space cowboy now, out there fighting aliens.
How does Young Guns only have 43% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Because people are ignorant.
I mean, it's not a 10 out of 10 movie for me, but I do like it. I give it a solid 8.5. I give Stamp's performance in it probably about the same. I like it. It's a very understated role from him. He's quite contained in it. And Lou Diamond Phillips wrote something really interesting on his Twitter, which was Terence Stamp was the one who kept us all under control. He kept us grounded, and he sort of reminded us of the realities of the film industry, and we were all sort of strutting around a bit like stars, and he kind of put us in our place, and made us turn up on time, and didn't put up with any shit. And Lou Diamond Phillips said he learned a lot from him. Obviously, Charlie Sheen learned fuck all, but went on to conduct himself accordingly. But so certainly at that time, although I do have a lot of time for Sheen now. I think there's a life biopic story to be made there one day for sure. That'd be very interesting. Great choice. Great choice, Toxic. Very quickly, my other panelists, what are your ratings out of 10 for this film? Rachel?
It's a 9 out of 10. This is one of my favorites as well. Not the second one, but the first one.
Alan?
Loads of fun, 8 out of 10. It's about historically accurate as Braveheart, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, indeed. Yeah, indeed. Northern?
Yeah, it's 9 out of 10. I mean, it's historical bullshit, but it's fun. It's fun historical bullshit, and you do actually want these guys to take down Jack Palance, especially after the gun down Terence Stamp.
China. Yeah, I do remember his character well. All right, okay, we're going to move on. Great first choice there. I'm going to bring up a clip now, which I'm going to show you guys. I, might get a copyright strike for this. Difficult to say. We'll see. Let me know if the audio is all right. But this is one of his finest acting roles. Let's have a quick look.
Look, Squire, you're the governor here. I can see that. I'm on your manor now, so there's no need to get your knickers in a twist. Whatever this bollocks is that's going down between you and that slave Valentine, it's got nothing to do with me. I couldn't care less. Right, mate? Let me explain to you. When I was in prison, second time, no, but a lie, third straight. Yeah. It was this screw that really had it in for me. And that geezer was top of my list. 2 years after I got sprung, I sees him in Holland Park. He's sitting on a bench feeding bloody pigeons. There was no one about. I could have gone up behind him and snapped his fucking neck. Wallop. But I left him. I could have offered him, but I didn't. Because what I thought I wanted wasn't what I wanted. What I thought I was thinking about was something else. I didn't give a toss. It didn't matter, see? This bird on the bench wasn't worth my time. It meant sod all in the end, because you've got to make a choice when to do something and when to let it go. When it matters and when it don't. Bide your time. That's what prison teaches you, if nothing else. Bide your time and everything becomes clear and you can act accordingly.
That's absolutely stonking monologue. Great bit of writing from Steve Soderbergh. And that's actually from my choice, The Limey, which we're going to talk about now. For those people that haven't seen it, this is a straightforward revenge thriller. The daughter of Terence Stamp's character has gone to America. She's got involved with some dubious characters, a kind of organization, the man at the head of which is actor Peter Fonda in one of his last roles. And Stamp's character, the film kind of starts with him finding out his daughter's dead, so it's not a big spoiler, and he basically goes over there to track down the people responsible and mete out his justice accordingly. I've just written a film to order that's pretty similar to this. Can't say anything about it, unfortunately, but I remember when we were talking about it, I said, so this is kind of like The Limey, but without the daughter being killed. And the guy who was hiring me to write the script said, yeah, that's exactly the kind of film I want to make. Now, it's got a really good supporting cast, which is one of the reasons that the film is so excellent. As I said, this features Peter Fonda. It's beautifully directed by Steve Soderbergh. The acting is first rate. Now, when I was growing up, Toxic may remember this, there was a weekly show. It ran for quite some time. That was on, I think it was on like Friday nights. It was on like after the Rockford Files, and I used to watch it with my parents. It was one of those shows that they kind of like they sort of gradually let me start staying up for. So I was always up for watching it. And it was called Petrocelli. And it was about a lawyer who seemed to be building this house in the desert in Arizona with Susan Howard, his wife. The house was never quite completed. They sort of seemed to live out of a caravan. And he would take on these cases. And it was a courtroom. It was a weekly courtroom drama because there was always scenes set in the court. And basically the actors the accused would tell you what had happened to them. And you'd see that version of events, and then somebody else would tell you what had happened to them, and you'd seen that version of events. And it was a bit like Columbo. Eventually, Petrocelli would come up with the answer, and we would see the version of events that really happened, which would be the version that he deduced. And the actor that played Petrocelli was an actor called Barry Newman. And Barry Newman is in this. He plays Peter Fonda's lawyer. And he was a great actor, and I was always surprised I didn't see him in more things. And it's great that like Steve Soderbergh found him, and I'm assuming this is him in Petrocelli, and I'm assuming, sought him out and gave him this part, because he's a really, really talented guy. He plays the main lead in Vanishing Point, which has got a well-known film from 1971. But his scenes with Terence Stamp, it's two actors of the same ability in a room doing their stuff. So when you see the scenes with him and Terence Stamp in the Limey, oh man, they are priceless to watch. So yeah, so the Limey is my pick for Mr. Stamp, and it's a film that I would give 10 out of 10 to. It's on the list for people to choose. Rachel, have you seen it?
I have. It's one of his best performances, in my opinion. I loved it.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Cracking film. Did you see it recently?
Fantastic.
Did you see it
No,
recently?
I haven't seen it recently. It's probably no.
Okay.
It's probably been 5 years since I've seen it, but I remember it vividly. It's just a great movie.
Yeah. Funnily enough, Gail Ann Hurd did a really nice little dedication to Terence Stamp. And I wrote underneath, yeah, you know, huge loss. If you haven't seen it, Gail, do check out the Limey. And she wrote back almost straight away, I have seen it, and it's one of my favorite films of his. And I've seen it about five times. Yeah, Northern, have you seen the Limey? I think you watched it recently, didn't you?
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen the Limey, but yeah, I do remember watching it. It was a good revenge thriller, but it didn't have the typical revenge ending. But you know, especially when it goes back to the daughter and her saying, "Listen, if you don't quit what you're doing, I'll call the police," which really does sort of like knock the vengeance out of him. But yeah, Terence Stamp is very good in this as well. It was kind of weird seeing him be all cockney when I've always seen him play these very sort of these very more classier villains. But it was a good film. It was a very good film, though. I need to watch it again. I really don't. I was almost going to send, you know, that little monologue you showed earlier. I was almost going to send it to Toxic and say, "Do you remember when we first started streaming?" You know, because it felt really familiar, especially when Bill Duke's like, "I can't understand the fucking word you're saying, mate." Yeah, what was it said? You know what? You know the worst thing, I can't understand everything. Damn, it escapes me. It really has escaped me.
Okay.
Whoa.
And Northern's just died on his mic. Critic out, have you seen it?
I have not seen the Limey, but apparently it is on Amazon Prime, so I shall make a point of doing so.
Yeah, very good. There's Barry Newman with Peter Fonda, in fact. So this is one of Barry Newman's later roles. He did live until 2023. I don't know. I haven't seen anything he did after this. He may well have done a lot of theatre. Toxic, did you see it?
Yeah, of course. And Petrocelli as well, since you mentioned it.
Yeah, I see you've got the Petrocelli DVD box set, the complete collection, all 44 episodes. Look at that. My parents absolutely loved this show. I mean,
yeah, mine did too.
They watched it every time it was on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, but they reused like the same pool of supporting actors kind of would turn up in different episodes playing different characters.
I mean, but that was very common at the time, though, Lance. That was a very common thing to do.
Yeah, look at Star Trek and Miami Vice.
Yeah,
different roles.
You'd see that was the first time for me that I'd seen that on TV and in the same show, different actors recurring, coming back, playing the same part. You know, but this is one of the first shows. Well, this is one of the first adult shows I got to watch. This and The Professionals, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah, but what would you, Toxic? What would you give the Limey out of 10?
The Limey's great. I love his dialogue in that. Also, same thing. I'd never heard him do a Cockney accent previous to that. I don't know that I'd be hard pressed to tell you another one. I'm sure there is, but I don't know another one where he's done that. I do love the dialogue in it. Soderbergh does a great job directing, of course. You know, I love the whole. That was the first time I went. Wait, no, it was the second time I was set up. No, wait, it's the third time. you know, and like so very familiar kind of
And you
conversation.
can tell he's thinking about a fourth occasion as well, but he doesn't mention it.
Right.
Yeah, he's been in and out so many times. It's all kind of blurred together in his mind.
Yeah, as it does. But yeah, no, it's great revenge thriller. I may watch it again. I noticed a lot of movies subsequent to that kind of copied that. Sylvester Stallone did one where it was more of a serious role, and he was trying to, it was very similar in vein to the Limey, where he just got out of prison. It was like a mob enforcer, and he was doing that. It was a couple of movies after that in that year. What
was that one called?
You know, you put me on the spot. I'm sorry I brought it up because now you put me on the spot.
God, that's a long title for a film.
Yeah.
I'm
but
gonna remake that and all that.
I know it was and it had Michael Caine was in it as well, and he plays the character. It was a remake, and he plays the character that.
Yeah, Get Carter. It's a remake of Get Carter.
Yeah.
Was it the Get Carter remake? Oh.
Yeah. And they had
I didn't know that Caine was in the. Was Michael Caine in the Get Carter remake as the villain?
He's in all of his own remakes. Yeah. He's in Sleuth. He's in bloody Alfie, Italian Job.
Yeah.
He loves to kind of trash his own history every now and then.
Like a tangerine.
What he likes is a nice paycheck. I'm quite happy to do the old film like Poseidon if it pays well.
If only Enzo was here to do the voice real quick for us. But yeah, no, right around this time, early 2000s was a big thing, and you know, back then we didn't have as much social media, we didn't have as much internet, but what we did have, you had like Entertainment Weekly and Cinescape and those kind of magazines, and they'd bring up a revenge crime thriller, and they'd be like, in the vein of the Limey. I think they even assigned that to Payback with Mel Gibson as well. So it's just like, you know, a lot of movies were riding on that coattail.
I would say that the film that he did was the film that Stallone did that was really similar to the Limey right after this one, because the Get Carter remake was shot in 2000, which means it would have already been in production when this one was filming. I think Avenging Angelo was a woman who's just discovered she is the daughter of a murdered Mafian chieftain seeks revenge with the aid of her father's faithful bodyguard. Don't know.
Yeah,
maybe. I never saw that. It was with Sylvester Stallone and Madeline Stowe, and also Anthony Quinn.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've not seen that.
No,
but I'm talking about how they were all kind of like put in that little box of, you know.
There were a few films that came out around that time that were very much in that in the vein of that. You know, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Driven. Not the car one, but yeah, he did Get Carter, Driven, Detox, and Avenging Angelo around that time. Interesting.
Now, if Driven had been a revenge film, that would have been amazing. That would have been fun.
Well, indeed, as opposed to a not so good movie. Northern, what's your pick for Mr. Stamp?
Oh, it's really hard as well, because most of the films I've seen him in was mostly supporting roles apart from the Limey, but I've managed to find a couple where he was one of the main characters.
Okay.
And one of them is The Hit, where once again he's a Cockney gangster, but this time he's an informant. He's grasped up all of his former colleagues, his former mobster friends, and it goes to 10 years later where he's snatched up and he's and a couple of hitmen are now escorting him to his old boss to take him out. And it's basically a road movie as well, where, you know, the hitmen kind of do end up sort of evolving a little bit, sometimes in more west, darker ways. And he seems to have and he starts off as a pretty scummy guy as well. He's claiming that he's going to get his old mates locked up because it's the right thing to do, and not because he's made a fucking deal to live the high life in Spain. But those 10 years, he seems to have really changed. I mean, he's actually kind of accepting the fact that, you know, he's found and that he's going to get popped off in front of his boss. He feels like, you know what, it's been a long time coming. And
So it appears.
It's a very good character study. Yeah, it's a very good character study and very philosophical as well on life and death. You know, and coming to terms with your death as well, and especially with your past coming back to haunt you.
Yeah, it's a good film, directed by Stephen Frears, who of course would go on to direct Dangerous Liaisons and many other great films. It's also one of the first feature film roles of Tim Roth, if not the first. And of course, Terence Stamp shares most of his scenes with John Hurt. And John Hurt did a Q&A at the Isle of Man Film Festival. I think this is back in, when did I go? I went there, I think in 2018, with producer Nicola Gregory. We went over together because we were pitching a short film for the competition there, and we actually we won it, funnily enough. I won't bore you with why that film didn't happen, but it didn't happen ultimately. And I, as soon as, you know, they went for questions, I just shoved my hand up straight away, because if you want to ask a question at a Q&A, always be the first person to put your hand up, because once one person asks a question, then there's dozens and you don't get your question in. So I always ask my question first, and I literally jumped up and waved my hands in the air because I was in an auditorium with like 600 people, and they didn't have the microphone was right over the other side of the theatre, and I went, John, and they said, "Oh, don't shout. We'll get the microphone to you." And I went, "I'm an actor. I can project. It's fine." And anyway, eventually the microphone came to me, and I went, "Sir John," because somebody called him Sir John in the interim. and I said, "What kind of preparation have you done for your different characters? And I'm particularly interested in the hit, which I think is one of your finest performances." And I can't remember word for word what his answer was, but his answer essentially was effectively that kind of Laurence Olivier thing. He didn't really do any preparation. He just, he just read the script and acted and got into the character, but he didn't like research hitmen or anything like that some actors do, or spend hours learning how to use a gun and stuff like that. He didn't do any of that stuff, which is pretty interesting. And it would be interesting to have asked Terence Stamp, what research he did for this character, and I bet his answer would have been the same. But this character's a Cockney. This is another of his Cockney characters, isn't it?
I know. Then again, Terence Stamp is actually working class, and I did not know this. I thought he was another sort of like very upper class actor, but no, yeah. He's from the streets. He's lived a rough life.
Well, everyone's upper class from Hull, aren't they? Everyone's a bit upper class away from.
Oh yeah, even the heroin addicts are fucking upper class.
Oh yeah.
Well, he was from the East End of London originally. So yeah, and I mean, all of this stuff with Tim Roth is great. The ending of this, the last 10 minutes, is so good, and the twists. There's like 3 twists in a row, and they all come completely out of nowhere. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, because it's a film that a lot of people just haven't seen. A lot of people haven't heard of it. But it's a really good film. And Fernando Rey from The French Connection is also in this movie. So you've got Fernando Rey in there. But yeah, if you look how young Tim Roth is, I mean, he's really young in this movie.
Yeah, as soon as he shows up with those sunglasses and that smile, pointing that bloody revolver, I was like, yeah, he's a wild card, this one. He's I do like the little contrast as well. Like Tim Roth's character has the big Detty Harry style revolver, while John Hurt's character has the Walther PPK, which shows just how different these two are. Tim Roth he's all about show, doesn't he? He wants to show how fucking big and bad he is, while John Hurt's character is kind of like, no, I use mine for practical. I'm more precise. I'm more professional. Yeah.
Tim Roth is like his so-called prodigy protege, or that's what he thinks.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he brings me along on this job, sort of teaches me what to do, and then takes me on the next one. And one day I'll be able to go out and work on my own. He's got some sort of speech like that at some point.
Yeah. And the
Doesn't
actual
quite work
dimension
out.
they do evolve the characters a little bit. I mean, even Tim Roth's character kind of evolves a tiny bit as well. He shows he's not just this sort of wild card, even though he is a little bit unhinged. But you know, it's like he even sort of grows to like Terence Stamp's character a little bit too. Is, you know, they do.
It's a good film, really good film.
Yeah, good character study as well.
I think also the fact that John Hurt pretty much wears those glasses throughout the entire movie. You know, what a performance! Because normally it's all about connecting with the eyes. This is John Hurt's Terminator role. You know.
Yeah, he's a cold fish in this. He proper is.
Yeah. Jamalama just letting people know French Connection is free on YouTube right now. I have the double DVD box set, but thank you very much.
I really hope they haven't edited that film for YouTube, because you know, they did that with Disney Plus, which is stupid, absolutely stupid.
I don't trust don't trust films on platform to see a film properly, especially if it's an 18 and they start selecting what's going to be in it. That's when I no, turn off. Not giving you my watch hours for that. Yeah, this is a great movie. Northern, it's your pick. What would you give it out of 10?
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's about. I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's a very slow movie, and you know, you got to be very, very patient with it.
Yeah, it's slow initially, I think, but once it picks up, once you pick up the story, it's pretty good.
Yeah, this bit is fantastic as well. The gangsters start saying, "We'll meet again. Don't know how, don't know when," and the look of fear on his face as well when they start singing it. And apparently, this did happen to a real mobster who was giving up all of his friends.
Yeah, on more than one occasion, I would think. I can't remember if the girl survives in this film.
You have to know. But I do like how the ending is kind of like is like a big fuck you to him as well. You know, I'm not going to say which character I'm talking about, but it's a good one. It's a good one.
He thinks he's Fernando Rey's one step ahead of him, basically. I don't think the girl does survive. I remember now. After seeing that shot.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? What was the deal with that Australian bloke? Like, that's the only bit that confused me. He's like got this girl and he got with her when she was underage. I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Just another borderline criminal living in Spain. I'd give this a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's a really solid film. I think the film's got better over time. I do really like it. Rachel, have you seen it?
I've never seen it. I'm going to have to find it now.
It is worth seeing. Absolutely is worth seeing. Alan, have you seen it?
I have not. No, my pick also has Terence Stamp and John Hurt, so I need to check this out because John Hurt looks like he's playing very much against type.
Interesting. Tox.
I wish I could be the odd man and say I have seen it. I have not. I'm afraid.
You are an odd man, but regardless of whether you've seen it or not, so that's fine. I'm not expecting everyone to have seen everything, and it's also nice for you guys on the panel to get some recommendations for stuff you haven't watched. So yeah, do check it out. The Hit again could be a good one to do. Chew the fat on. You could do this one, and you could do another kind of Hitman movie and compare the two. That would make for quite an interesting stream. Rachel, ladies next as opposed to first. What's your pick?
Well, I'm going to pick one of his voice roles, and I loved when they brought him back as Jor-El in Smallville. I thought that was excellent casting. His voice was absolutely perfect for it, even if they did write him a little bit funky. It was. I didn't approve of some of the things they did later, but
he came into the show as Superman's dad, right?
Yeah, he plays Jor-El.
Who's got the crackly mic? Whose mic is doing major background noise.
It's
Is it
Rachel's.
me again? It's
Hang
me
on.
again.
Are you sure
Mine's
it's you?
just terrible.
Are you sure?
I don't
I've
know
just
if you
muted
still
out
hear
now,
it.
but now everything appears to be fine.
Oh, see, he was blaming it on me then.
Yeah, what's
I
going on
see
there?
how you are down there.
I don't know what you mean.
Okay. Yeah. Pay no attention to him. He's in the row underneath you, which is the second ranking area. Okay. I think I will struggle to find a picture of Terence
Yeah,
on Smallville, unless there's some sort of computer hologram or something. Because I've only seen a few episodes of Smallville, and I don't think I saw any with Terence Stamp in.
Yeah,
So,
it would just be his voice in a scene.
right.
Him talking to Clark, that would be it.
Yeah, they used a lot of old actors in Smallville as well. They had the original Lana Lang as his mum. That was kind of cool.
The original who was his mother?
Lana Lang from
Lana Lang.
Annette O'Toole. That's her name. Annette O'Toole from Superman 3. She plays his mum in Smallville.
Yeah, she was like the love interest in Superman 3, but she didn't play Lois Lane. She played a different character. Because in that version of Superman, only Margot Kidder played Lois Lane, and Annette O'Toole played some other character.
Lana Lang.
Lana Lang.
Oh, was it Lana Lang?
Lana.
Okay.
Yes.
Same alliteration.
Well, I can't hear with all this mic interference going on.
Well, it's not
Alan's
me.
fault. You shouldn't let the
I don't know if you
spiders
might
crawl on his mics during the stream. Told him before.
I don't know if you might have to exit, then come back in. Sometimes that helps. I don't know. It's that.
Do we have a clip? Rachel, do you want to try and find a clip on YouTube of him talking in this character?
I'll do it, Lance. I'll get you something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be better if he would do it.
All right, fine. That's no problem. Who has not gone yet?
Me.
Okay, Al, jump in.
So for Terence Stamp, for me, it was mainly his voice work that I heard. He was in Halo, the video game. He was in Oblivion. He's done loads of voice work, and he has such a distinctive voice. That's where I mainly know him from.
I like
And
that movie, Oblivion.
Not the Tom Cruise one, video game. And he did a film called Ultramarines, the movie, which is a Warhammer 40,000 film, kind of thing that Henry Cavill would love. And he was in that film with John Hurt and Sean Pertwee doing purely voice work. But he was brilliant, and it really added an air of professionalism to a film that perhaps wasn't as good as people would have hoped it would have been.
Yeah, because I mean, if that
was a
film,
gentle way of doing it.
Yeah, that film sort of embraced that new era of CGI, which was quickly gonna become very dated, unfortunately.
Yes, it's a lot of people walking in like dust and stuff to make it look, But the voice work is genuinely very good, and the plot's not bad by Dan Abnett. Obviously, he's a storied writer.
I think that's his voice now.
Probably because he's got the main role.
I have worked with Donald Sumpter, who is in this, and I've met Sean Pertwee. Yeah, Donald came to see a play of mine very, very early in my career. My second or third play, I think. One of my best.
It's not a great film, but it's worth it just to hear John Hurt go, "Burn, heretic!"
Yeah. Oh, we've got that mic interference is happening again.
It's not.
Yeah, there's
the things going around Rachel.
I mean, was the script to this any good? Even though obviously it hasn't aged well from a look point of view, but was the script?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's fairly standard stuff if you think about the audience that they're going for. It's written by Dan Abnett, who had sort of writing credits and all sorts of stuff. He's written more comics than you can shake a stick at, loads of novels. He is a good writer. So although it's aged visually not very well, and the animation wasn't good in the first place, you know, it's worth a watch. It's only like an hour long or something stupid like that, if you can get hold of it, of the time that it was made. But yeah, it's not aged well, and you can see here that, you know, these days even video game cutscenes are better than this.
What are the action scenes?
It had some production problems. It didn't get the budget it required or the oversight, but the voice work is solid. It really is.
I remember that they did actually. I had a friend who worked on this. I remember seeing it was in prep for a long time, and I think, as you say, they had problems with the money coming and going. And they did build some full-size ultramarine costumes for this, to then be kind of mapped out for the animation.
Oh,
and
wow, cool.
You know, they actually put people in them just to sort of record some movement with them and stuff like that. So
yeah, it makes
I
sense.
remember
Like, almost like a mocap type thing.
Yeah, and I remember seeing those, and there was a little set that had been built, and you know, how much of that was directly to the film, I don't know, but certainly they brought
I get the feeling there wasn't enough oversight on it. Maybe GW took their eye off the ball as licensors, and it didn't turn out.
I mean,
quite
they're
as
a company that
anybody hoped.
They're a company that are not short of a few bob.
Oh yes,
they could easily produce, especially with the technology as it stands now, a proper Warhammer film in-house.
Oh god, yes, yeah.
And you could get fans. You know, I mean, you could crowdfund it in a fucking week with all the Warhammer.
The horrible thing is, Lance, that basically what happened is there's a lot of fans that have done amazing animation on YouTube. There's one called Astartes that got very famous. And unfortunately, what happened is because Games Workshop have now launched their own pay-for streaming service, they went after all the fans' creators and made them take their stuff down, so it wasn't competition.
That's so crap.
It really is. So
you know what they should have done is gone after them and given them jobs and created a.
Well, they did for a few. They did for a few, but it was very much our way or the highway with it, which is a real shame. You know, because the Astartes is absolutely incredible.
I've heard very mixed things about what it's like as a place to work. Warhammer Studio.
I've worked there.
In the one in Nottingham.
No, I worked for the company down south in their stores. I actually live 10 minutes away from Warhammer World.
What was the
I can walk there?
What was the percentage discount you got on stock if you worked in 50%. The store?
It was 50% in store, but if we went to the head office in Lenton, where I live down the road from it now, we paid for the metal models by weight, and we paid £20 for a kilo of metal models, which worked out nearly 95% discount. And it got even worse because what you could do, because we used to bribe the head guy of like the mail order department with a bacon butty. So, Ted, can we get the new releases, please, mate? But you could sign away your next month's wages and have the money taken out of that. It's like I'm eating noodles for the next month.
My God.
It was like 25 years ago now.
Yeah, I wonder what it is now. Interesting.
It's still 50%, but it's all plastic now. So,
has anybody else seen Ultramarines, a Warhammer film?
I'll be astonished. I have.
Rachel's seen it. Rachel, what
you wouldn't think it would be me.
What would you give it out of 10?
The animation is very dated, but I kind of look at it as that's just part of its charm. You take it as it is. I'd say it's a 7 out of 10 animated film. The vocal talent they got for it, that's why I watched it. I'm not big into 40K, but all of the voice actors, I just had to hear what they would do. And it's wonderful just to hear them all in these roles. Beautiful. So 7 out of 10.
Toxic's found us a clip from your pick.
Thank you.
have a quick listen.
You might consider putting a banner over it, you know, and just say free use YouTube or something to kind of so you don't get yeeted. But it's up to you.
Just keep talking till he pops up.
Yeah, just keep. Look how hot.
Yeah,
Lana Lang
so yeah, just how we don't.
Yeah.
This is why Scotty.
Yeah.
This is why Scotty didn't know. This is why Scotty
Get all the
didn't
mic crackling over the music.
What, I mean, I don't actually know what movie this is. I've never seen
know.
this.
It's a TV show, Smallville. No, there's
Smallville, isn't it?
Oh, is it Smallville? Oh, yeah. We're getting the
Here he
dad.
comes.
Here he comes. So he sort of comes out of the toilet. Sort of thing. Oh right, wait, this is in the
Yeah, we've
barn.
got the John Williams music playing as well.
Oh my god, is this John Williams music playing? I'm going to get copyrighted for sure.
I told you to put the thing over it.
La 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 la.
Da, 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 da.
This is a
Oh,
James
he's got John Williams.
Not started
What's
the
your
clip
feeling of
actually.
music over the socks gonna
Not
help?
started the clip when he actually starts talking. I mean, why do we have to
I
have
was
this?
messaging you started at the 32nd marker and you didn't pay attention.
I mean, like, you know, you could have just skipped ahead to this bit.
Jor-El, your father.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's definitely Terence Stamp's voice. Okay, great, thanks. Good, yeah, he's good. Excellent.
I am your space daddy.
I am your father, Luke.
I am no
He
dad.
had such a distinctive voice. He really, really did.
You know, I'll wait again. If we are we gonna get to have a like a bolo or like an audible because I did have one that I just wanted to mention, but I'll let everybody else go.
Isn't a
Something that's
bolo
just
like
gotta
a
at least be
police-
mentioned.
Police, you know, special emergency, be on the lookout for toxic type thing. Bolo.
Well,
You know what a
just
bolo
as
is?
a in the Army when they after all the questions are done during the briefing, they usually say, "Does anybody have a bolo or want to throw an audible?" But
Okay.
1988's Alien Nation, he plays the bad guy, and you cannot see him with that makeup on. Like he's
Yeah.
unrecognizable, but his voice is so distinctive.
I'm
it's just
quite
great.
happy to include this in special mentions. And now here's an interesting thing. So Alien Nation is directed by Graham Baker. And in my first feature film, which pretty much no one's ever seen, which is called Death Comes from the Touch of the Funny Man, there was a character called Anna who was played by an actress called Rachel Raymond. And Rachel Raymond's father is Graham Baker, who directed this. And we shot Funny Man around, oh God, I can't remember much now from that time period, because that's when my head took the knock to my noggin. So, but it's sometime in the 90s we shot this movie. And the reason I remember this story is because I have a picture of the still of the scene with Rachel in it and Andy who did the scene with her, and it's actually one of the best acting scenes in the film, but we cut it for running time. It was cut. It was kind of included in like deleted scenes or whatever. But I remember when she came to set, because her father directed this, and he also directed, I think it was either Omen 2 or Omen 3. He did one of the Omen movies. It might have been the one with Sam Neill in. And we talked about this film, and I said, you know, what was it like working on the movie? And I met him as well. I went round to her house and I met him. And there's one scene, and there's a car chase scene towards the end of the movie, and they cut from one shot to the other, and the continuity's fucked. The car's on the wrong side of the road to what it should be, or something like that. And we all noticed it. I remember I took everybody to see this at the cinema. I took like 20 people to see this for my birthday. I've still got the tickets for this. And yeah, but one thing that's really good about the film is Terence Stamp's performance, and also the makeup of the aliens. But Graham Baker said that James Caan was an absolute nightmare to work with on this film, and he hated every day that he worked with Caan. Yeah, but he said that Mandy Patinkin was lovely. So there's a bit of info. Sorry, Tox. I jumped on your bandwagon a bit there, but Carrot, continue. Is it just makeup that you like about the film, or do you like the film generally?
No, the makeup is too much. The makeup's, I mean, but it's just this movie was such a product of its time, because this is right around the same time that Terence Stamp had done Young Guns. It's right around the same time that Princess Bride had come out. So you got these two great, as you like to call them, jobbing character actors in this role, and the Terence Stamp villain character kind of seems like he's almost likable, but like you right away know that like it's Terence Stamp, so it's like Zod is in there under that makeup somewhere, so he's the bad guy, right? And I like it. I like it for what it is. I even watched the TV show that came out a couple years later.
Yeah,
and,
that was all right.
Dan Candy, I agree. And all the performances are, it's one of those. It's like the last vestige of buddy cop they could come up with. They were like, this guy's a he's a wild card, and then this guy's a by the books, and but in this case,
this guy's by the book, but he's an alien.
But he's an alien. And I'm sure Jimmy Caan was very abrasive, because that's just his nature, but he puts in a fucking great performance in this. Like, he plays it like serious as shit, even when he's being a jerk and kind of taking the piss out of these guys. He plays it so well. And it's like Terence Stamp has a smaller role. He's like the big bad. So, and I'm sure that probably wasn't him in the ocean at the end. I'm sure it was a stuntman or something like that. I'd be kind of interested to know that for a fact. But bottom line is, his voice has he has a great speech in the third act, when he's explaining how they're gonna bring the drug that they had on the ships, into Earth, and then make them make the newcomers take it so they can become their slaves, and all that kind of stuff. Like, he didn't want world domination. He just wanted to be the biggest alien drug dealer on the planet. So but yeah, it's like, as soon as you hear his voice, it doesn't matter that you can't recognize him underneath that big potato head mask and face and stuff. It's he's just great in it, and it's a really well done noirish crime thriller as well. It's got a great, it's like Lethal Weapon if one of the guys was an alien, kind of. So it's like that, and it's of that time. So it's like, oh, the future, 1991. It's like,
very much reminded me of District 9. When District 9 came out, I felt like he probably drew a few ideas from this. Shit turns up, the guys on it are probably like worker bees, sort of thing.
Yeah,
they're not the main race. Look, it's that dude. Yeah,
it's funny too, because it's one of the first Rambo 6. I remember when that seemed like a ridiculous idea, and now we have like Rambo 7. But that's funny.
I mean, we're there.
But
it's at the $2 theater too,
And yeah, it's like you say, it's not an alien race that has like bio weapons or space lasers or force fields, or they're just like they're just like a regular. I mean, there's something where of course they're stronger and they're slightly faster, and they're the ones that apply themselves have a better, they can learn languages. Like, their adaptability is their strength. I think that's even said in the film, or maybe it was in the TV series. I don't remember. But
I just recall their equivalent of cocaine is basically milk that's gone off.
Well, that's their booze. Yeah, their booze is spoiled milk. Yeah.
And you've got like loads of these kind of like wino aliens on corners drinking like milk that's off, and they're all like, fuck.
This is actually one of my favorite. I mean, I know that the episode's about Terence Stamp, but I mean, this is actually one of my favorite Jimmy Caan performances. I think he just does this very well. I'm not willing to argue with anybody that said he was a problematic person, but I think he was kind of a problematic person in real life as far as that goes. But that doesn't mean he wasn't a good actor. So
I mean, he was a good actor. Another friend of mine worked with him, co-starred with him in a movie. I mean, he was the co-star in the film, and Jimmy Caan was like the villain. And I said to him, so what was it like, working with him? I've heard all these stories. And he went, he was an utter cunt. He was a cunt to the crew. He was a cunt to the director. He was nice to me because I was co-starring in the film with him, but he was absolutely awful to absolutely everyone. And I can't reconcile that with, okay, you can be someone who has a bad day. You can go through some bad times, whatever. But coming into a work environment, whatever you do, whatever your job is, and deliberately making everybody else's day awful is just not fucking acceptable. It's not acceptable.
Right.
Full stop.
This may be
There's
a
basically
surprise.
a T missing from the end of his name.
Yeah.
I mean,
James
if I had been, if I had been the director of that, if I'd been the director of that film, I would have fired him.
But don't you think that there's something to be said for like people who have talent can, you give them a bit of a wide berth? I mean, we're pretty accepting of, like Sidney Pollack or a what's his name that did The Shining, like the,
yeah. I mean,
Kubrick.
Kubrick was known to be a monster of a director to work with regarding and demanding ridiculous numbers of takes when they definitely weren't necessary and things like that. But so I can't give him a pass either. Whereas Quentin Tarantino, who is a genius, is supposed to be absolutely awesome on set, tons of fun, tons of energy, very professional.
Yeah.
But he brings out the best in people. So I mean, we're going into a topic for maybe another stream.
Sure.
Jim Cameron's got a reputation as well, hasn't he? But people keep working with him, so it can't be that bad.
Because he's the best. Because he's one of the best. I mean, because you get to say you worked with Jim Cameron, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, listen, this may come as a surprise to you guys. Some people are just a bit toxic. You know what I mean? They're just toxic people that some people just don't want to be around.
It's surprising that you should comment on such a topic with your name. I've heard about Cameron. Now, I've heard different stories about Cameron. Yeah, he is a bit tyrannical, but what I've heard about him is he demands incredibly high standards on his production, doesn't take any bullshit, and he's quite unforgiving if people fuck about or get behind. And quite right too, because it's his neck that's on the block. Now, I mean, I have heard, yes, he does shout at people and stuff like that, but tends to be more when they fuck up. He doesn't go out of his way to make people have a bad day. So it's a slightly different kind of guy. I mean, again, this is all secondhand. I've know about 4 different people that have been on various different Cameron sets. Now, he has a bad reputation because of The Abyss, which, The Abyss.
Yeah.
Gail Ann Hurd talked about it on my interview with her. It drove everybody completely nuts. It was a nightmare shoot.
That whole shoot was hell, apparently.
Yeah,
that was never going to be a good day for anybody, really. No matter who the director was, that was not going to work out.
Yeah. They pulled it off, though. They pulled it off. I mean, there's a lot of films that have had bad productions, and they have just been disasters when released as well.
Well, Alien Nation is a film worth checking out. I have to say, at the time, I thought it was going to be far better than it was. I thought the trailer, kind of set up what looked to be this really great, quite original film, and actually what we got was Lethal Weapon with an alien in it, which I was expecting a bit more. I was hoping more for Lethal Weapon meets Total Recall, and I didn't get that. That's a good extra pick. Let's talk about some other films of Mr. Stamps, because I know that Northern would be disappointed if we didn't talk about his second favourite Terence Stamp of all time movie of all time, Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Is it fair to say that this is a gay film that straight people can enjoy?
Yeah, just like The Birdcage.
I think you can. It depends. Yeah, it depends on the person anyway. But like I said, we don't really mind, filmed with gay people as long as it's well written and Yeah, this is actually really well done. I mean, this is actually very funny, and Terence Stamp, he gets some of the best lines. I mean, and they have different personalities as well. Like Hugo Weaving's kind of the average guy as well, and Guy Pearce is mostly is kind of a brash. He's a bit of a dickhead. He's a bit of a egotistic, a bit of a showboater, and Terence Stamp is like this. He's very sort of like straight-faced, deadpan, sort of like dry, witty, sort of transsexual. And like I said, Stamp gets the best lines. I mean, what's that line he says? "Oh, good, a cock in a frock climbing a rock." And they do have some good chemistry. The cast do. I mean, they have, and it is a very good sort of like tale of self-discovery and all that lot. And you do really get why these characters are doing what they're doing. They're just trying to sort of like reignite an old spark that they've lost a little bit. And it's a very good feel-good movie as well. And it's not afraid to touch on some of the harsh moments, like some of the homophobia as well that they suffer. But it doesn't. It's not totally in your face about it.
It never gets militant, does it? Which is quite nice.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. They feel like real characters. They feel like they aren't like just total stereotypical, sort of trying to push a straw man kind of thing. It's just about three people trying to do what they love, or trying to sort of like find a little bit of spark in their life again.
Yeah, I mean it's very much an LGBTQ plus movie without an agenda, I would say.
Yeah,
very much very much just a story about some interesting characters who happen to be gay. And it's quite fun to go on the journey with them. In fact, it's a lot of fun. And they're all great in it. They are all really great in it. This was the first time I think I'd seen Hugo Weaving in a movie, what I remember. And I made a point of watching Australian feature films. One of the first ones I saw, apart from the Mad Max movies, obviously, was The Castle and The Dish. And they both got a cinema release in the UK, as did this. And I would always go and see any Australian film that got a cinema release in the UK. Animal Kingdom was another one, because usually for them to get a UK cinema release, they had to be pretty good. They didn't just release anything. So it was usually unlike now, where we get films left and right and TV shows from all over the world, it's not necessarily a seal of quality anymore. But yeah, back then in the 90s, if an Australian movie got released in the UK, it was usually pretty good, and this was one of the great ones. This gets an 8.5 stamps out of 10 from me. Very good movie, rewatchable, a lot of fun. Your parents can watch it, or you can watch it with your parents or your kids. Anyone else seen it? Want to comment on it before we move on?
I like it. I don't think it's at the time it came out, it was it was different. It was just one of those things that popped on cable, and I was like, whatever, let's see what's going on here. And it wasn't, it's not over the top. I mean, it's like I think someone else here mentioned The Birdcage, and I wouldn't disagree with that. If this would come out now, I probably wouldn't even give it a second look, just because of all the politics of today. But at the time in the 90s when it came out, it wasn't, it was a little outlandish, but it wasn't too crazy as far as that goes. It was, they weren't trying to like read to school children or something like that in the film.
Yeah, no, it's back when drag was just a light-hearted bit of fun. It's not, not soiled like it is.
This is the kind of film that I dread that they're going to remake one day and just.
Oh, they will. They'll remake this, and they'll remake Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything. They'll remake both of them, I bet.
And
I think Tu Wong Fu's been on stage. I think actually Priscilla has been on stage as well. I'm pretty sure. But
good fun movie, full of memorable characters. It's a good time. 8 out of 10 all day long.
Other films that he had pretty significant roles in were Valkyrie, which I quite enjoyed that movie. Get
Is that the
Smart.
Tom Cruise movie about the
was.
Nazis?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was
Valkyrie's
in
done.
that.
Now, there's another Western which he had a very significant role in, and I bet you guys probably haven't seen it. Does anyone know which film I'm talking about? Let me see if I can get the trailer, and we'll have a quick look. I've seen the movie. It's a good movie. It's a little bit slow. It's a true story, but it's worth watching. And it had an R rating in America.
Why don't you private message me what it is, and I'll download it for you, as opposed to you share screening it, because you'll get less of a hit for it.
Yeah, okay, Tox. I'll send you the link for it on on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So it's in your inbox right now. There you go.
All right. Let me pull it up.
See if you can grab that. Anyway, this film came out in 2007. It is kind of a love story, and it's set during the expansion of the American West, and of course, one community that kind of set out to find its own lands, its own place, were the Mormons. And there's a true story. There's a true incident that took place where this wagon train of Mormons was known to be coming to this certain territory adjacent to some other people. And those people did not want the Mormons to settle near them, or anywhere near them, in fact. So what they did was they set up an ambush for them. And by the way, this movie is directed by Christopher Kane, and Christopher Kane directed what else? Young Guns. And this took place in 1857. Unfortunately, the film was a critical failure, and I would say that the film is a bit slow, but I don't think it's a bad movie. And if you like your Western history, you like your Westerns, and you like the true story, then it's definitely worth seeing. But Terence Stamp plays Brigham Young, who is this true Mormon leader. And basically, it's a recreation of the Mountain Meadows massacre. I think where they went wrong was they sort of tried to focus on this love story, and that takes us out of the film a bit. But somewhere between 120 and 140 men, women, and children were killed, and in this ambush. And this is this is what took place. I forget whether it was the Mormons that committed the ambush, or whether it was the Mormons that got killed. I think it might have actually been the Mormons that committed the ambush, now I think about it, and they didn't want these people coming into their land. It's the Baker Fancher wagon train was the name of the train that was ambushed. Do you have the trailer, Toxic?
I do indeed. Here it comes right now.
Okay, let's have a butcher's.
I would suggest when you go to your part where it says banners, and type in all caps free use on YouTube, and then overlay that over that, and you'll get less of a hit with copyright.
As opposed to the Terence Stamp thing we've got scrolling at the moment.
I mean, however you want to do it, it's your channel, my friend. But it's down there. Pull it up as you see fit. It's just a little trick I use when I use it.
So if I'm doing this here like that, you mean?
Not on your ticker. Yeah, you keep your original ticker and just
called a
put
ticker.
that.
It's called a banner. So tell me where I'm going, because you pointed me to the wrong thing.
Well, you do a banner, and then you add one.
How do I create a banner?
It's the section on the side that says banners. I don't know. I don't know what you're.
Yeah, but the section on the side that says banners is for you to create basically text that scrolls along the screen.
Well, you only scroll if you click on the box that says ticker down at the bottom. Otherwise, it's just a banner that shows up on the screen. And in fact, if you already have a ticker thing going on like you did, then it'll be it'll
right,
overlap.
so if I take the ticker off, all that's going to happen is it's just going to stay there, right?
Correct.
Is that
yes.
what you're saying should happen?
I would anything that you can put on top of something as opposed to waiting to do an overlay, anything that you can do both vocally and visually to obscure what you're about to play you'll get less of a hit. So
okay, so
there you go.
Right.
Now
Right.
play it. Yep. Now
all right, okay, here we go then. Blimey, that was a bit of a mission, people, wasn't it?
StreamYard tutorial with Toxic and Lance.
He can be taught. He can be taught. This looks pretty interesting.
I am the voice of God. And anyone who doesn't like it will be hewn down.
On September 11th, 1857, in an unspoiled valley of
It's that guy that does that did all the.
Here's that guy,
in the
voiceover
name of
guy.
God, 120 men, women, and children were savagely murdered.
Pause.
Who ordered the massacre and why has been
You want me to
hidden
pause?
in a cloak of secrecy and conspiracy,
And we're banned.
and the reputation
fuck
of
it.
one of
Can
this
watch the whole
nation's
thing.
mightiest religious figures has been preserved and protected
By Zod.
until now.
Mormons, do your duty!
Lance.
Yeah, sorry, the Mormons would do the killing.
Jehovah created me.
Lance, is this the thing like
Be
that?
your God on earth.
American, whatchamacallit we watch?
American Primeval,
Primeval.
like
It's
that.
a duty we owe to
Wow,
God.
this is really loud.
Tell me what's happening.
Too late for everybody. It started. It's too late.
You think he's God on earth?
They're not innocent.
We take a solemn oath to never discuss this, even among ourselves.
So this
I
is that
mean-
same story, Lance, or no?
Well, American Primeval is centered around the same conflict. Whether it was, I forget whether that was the massacre of the same wagon train. I just can't remember. But September Dawn's a good movie. I mean, it's worth getting. I've got the DVD of it actually. And as I said, it's Christopher Kane. It is a little bit slow. The love story bogs it down a little bit. I think it could have done without that. But John Voight is in it. He's pretty good in it. And you've got various other people like John Grease, who you would have seen in a lot of things, popping up in it, and some other younger actors which have gone on to do notable bits of work. But it's a good film. Dean Cain is in it, by the way. There you go.
I saw that.
There's
that.
a Superman. Yeah.
That's funny.
Superman connection.
That is.
He's
it
shown
would've
to
been
be
great.
Superman in real life.
Yeah.
But I
he's
mean-
Ice Agent now.
But Terence Stamp is terrifying in this film. And Darth Plato is saying it's the same event portrayed in both the show and the movie. Oh, okay, all right. I thought it was slightly different. Well, a slightly different take on it, I think. But Primeval, it's a bit more hyper realized.
Had Terence Stamp officially retired, or because his last film was 2021? I don't remember him ever announcing a retirement per se.
I don't know. I think we can get rid of this big free on YouTube business now. But I'll keep that though, because that could be quite handy. So okay. Oh, by the way, Gary Bolter from Outcast Australia is now Compos Mentis over there down under. That's good, because he misspelled. I sent him something that I sent to Enzo to get the spelling corrected on. He made exactly the same spelling mistake that Enzo did. I was like, for fuck's sake! It was a slightly different piece of artwork, but it was like we needed these individual posters for my actors, and I sent Gary the list of all the actors, I made sure all of their names were spelled correctly, and he managed to misspell 4 out of the 8 posters, and I was like, for fuck's sake, you know, what's going on here? So that was very, very, very annoying. But he's corrected those now, so thank you for that, Gary. Thank you for taking the time to do that for me. I do appreciate you. This was quite entertaining. I was going through them and go, maybe I better check these again, because I spotted one and then I realized half of them were actually wrong. So but they're very groovy individual posters, and I thought let me get Gary to do these, because then I feel like I ask quite a lot of Enzo sometimes, and he's done a lot of stuff for me. And although I have got him a bit of paid work here and there, it's nice not to have to ask him to do too much, you know. So so these are the sorts of things I'm talking about. This is one of our cast who is in the Magnificent Seven. Gentlemen, book your tickets now. So Clarice Mackenzie Cluck as Rosa Monteros, and many other roles in the play. So there you go. And I'll show you a couple. I'll show you a couple more of those. Slightly off topic here, but you know, it's the Nielsen ratings. So this guy, his take on James Coburn, his voice is so identical to Coburn's, it's scary. I mean, it's like having James Coburn on stage. It's nuts. So he's kind of like really forced me to raise my game, because I'm playing Brad Dexter and my voice is absolutely nothing like him in the play. So but Paul McLaughlin is an absolutely fantastic actor. So lucky.
James Coburn also in Young Guns.
Yes, he was. Isn't he the guy that owns the farm or something? Doesn't he own the farm?
Yeah, he's the head, one of the heads of the Santa Fe Ring almost.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He also played Pat Garrett. Also played Pat Garrett in Billy the Kid versus
Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid with Kurt Russell, right?
I don't think Kurt Russell's in that. Is
Chris Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson. Sorry, yeah. They've got very similar haircuts. Yeah. But,
and in a 30 Degrees of Separation, he was with Chris Christopherson in 1999's Payback, which we mentioned earlier in the stream.
Yeah. So there we are. Fantastic. Okay. So that was one of my kind of, hey, if you haven't seen this of Terence Stamp's career, that was one worth mentioning. Critical, I know that you, following from the recommendation of both myself and Leroy Peters, who was in the chat earlier. Sorry I didn't have space for you tonight, Leroy, but bit of a full panel. You did watch War Chief.
Chief of War. Yes, I did.
Chief of War. Yeah, and your opinion of it's pretty high.
Yeah, I think it's exceptionally well made. It seems to be quite well acted. I don't really rate Jason Momoa as one of the greatest actors, but he seems to be good in this. I have to say, I have only seen the first episode. With it all being in Hawaiian or Samoan or whatever the language actually is called, you actually have to. You can't watch it while you do something else. You have to watch it.
No, you've got to. I mean, and that's kind of a good thing in a way.
Oh, absolutely. In this day and age, it's very much a good thing.
You invest your time properly in the show, whereas, you know, if you've got a documentary on in the background.
Yeah, this isn't made for the look at your phone generation. You know, this is an actual proper show. Really high production values, loads of people in it. The acting seems to be fine. It's very well written. I have a couple of concerns, and I will need to watch more to find out whether or not they are borne out. But so far, I am particularly impressed. I've got to say, it was very good. It just seems to be a little bit clean in places, but it's very brutal, very brutal. So far, really invested. Like the characters, like the idea. It's not a new story per se. The actual plot seems to be quite Western in many ways, but definitely a recommendation, especially compared to something like Alien Earth. God.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Let's not.
It's like night and day. It really is.
I have to watch that later. Oh,
Yes. I'm gonna
Oh,
watch it tomorrow.
don't do it, Rachel. Don't
Guys,
do it.
is that dropping tonight?
Yeah, 1 a.m. UK
Yes.
time. So literally
what time?
about an hour and a quarter from now.
About an hour and a quarter from now, it will be on, or I might have to stay up, just to see.
It's really exhausting.
It is exhausting to stay up at that time in the morning if you're in the UK. Less exhausting for you. I feel I need to point out, but
Don't know. I could stay up and watch it, but I don't think I'm not sure the program's worth it. I must catch it later.
It's not.
And I had such grief trying to get my episode 1 review up with all the copyright hits that I got, but I feel a little bit discharitable towards it at the moment.
I do not blame you. Yeah. So Gary, you still got one poster wrong, man. For fuck's sake.
Lance, do we have a homework assignment for next week?
Yeah, you do. It's not really for next week. It's for the 27th of August. So there is a Netflix documentary coming out.
Okay.
Subject which I'm always very interested in, and I don't think we had quite the same panel, but we did a special on a drama series, which was a superb drama series that almost no one watched, which was a real shame. This is a documentary series on the same topic. Katrina Come Hell or High Water drops on Netflix August 27th.
Oh, The Storm. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like people to watch it, and we're going to discuss it. It's
I actually worked with the National Guard down there during that time, actually, a little bit.
That'd be great, because that'd be a great thing to get into.
Yeah.
Is it a one shot or a series?
I think it's a one shot
series. Oh, is it a one shot? Okay.
I mean, if it is a series, it says a Netflix series. It means it will drop in one go, though. They don't.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, they'll do it like that. But I think he's asking, will there be? Is it like multiple episodes? Which I say
it's probably going to be. It's probably going to be 3 parts. It's probably going to be 3 1 hours, I would imagine, something like that.
That's their standard.
Let's have a quick look on the IMDb and see if we can see. 1 season, 3 episodes. Look at that! What a guess from the Nielsen. He shoots, he scores.
The expert on things Netflix is Lance.
Yeah, that's my area. Yes, you're looking at about 3 hour commitment there, guys.
Yeah, it's cool. It's homework. I'll do it.
Is anybody watching on Netflix? Is anybody watching that movie called In the Lost Lands? Has anyone seen that?
I've seen it and I have reviewed it.
No.
Didn't even know it existed.
So hang on.
I reviewed it a couple of months ago because a friend sent me a message and went, In the Lost Lands, any good? And I'd never heard of it. So I watched it.
Right.
And it was so bad that I felt compelled to review it.
Okay. So very, very briefly, those. Oh my God! It's Paul W.S. Anderson and it's Mila Jovovich. I didn't realize what a seal of quality.
And David Bautista.
Yeah, that's a seal of quality right there. Very quickly, then, those people that have actually seen it, what is your rating out of 10 for this film?
Am I the only one who's been subjected to this?
Yeah, it's just you, buddy. It's just you.
You are.
It's
all you.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
I saw the poster for this on my Plex Pass, and I was like, nope.
It's a 4 out of 10, and that's probably being generous. But yeah,
I only saw one clip, and it looked really, really cheap, like it was shot in the basement.
It really. I mean, it's all like really badly composited CGI backgrounds and.
So it's like shot in the rotunda kind of thing.
I've got to watch this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Watch this.
Mila Jovovich.
Now remember,
is doing what she does. David Bautista's okay, I suppose. There is one person. There's like an evil queen because it's actually based on a story written by George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And there's an evil queen.
Boy, anything to not finish those Game of Thrones books.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's what I was going to say.
1998. And the evil queen in it is one of the worst actresses I've ever seen. It's absolutely awful. Yeah, it's not good.
Is she worse than the one in Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Too bad you will die.
Pretty
We're not
close.
far off that level.
it's pretty bad.
Honestly, we're not far off that level. We really aren't. Yeah, I mean, it's another W.S. Paul Anderson type film. It's not good. He cast his wife in it again.
Well, that's the only work she can get, isn't it? The only time she works is in one of his films.
Yeah, she should.
She'd be better off. She would be better off if
like
she worked with
what was
somebody.
it, The Fifth Element a while ago? I think on
Oh yeah,
on Northern English by Stars channel, and we were talking about how great she is in that, and then she's now at the stage where she's doing this kind of thing, you know.
She was also with that director at the time.
She slept with a lot of directors, and
there may well be a Me Too story there. I don't know, but yeah, this film is not. It's not good. It's not good. It's probably not worth your time, in all honesty. If I'm being completely honest with you.
A Me Too got a leading role for story potentially. Yeah, there's a few of them out there.
Exactly. Precisely.
Yeah.
At the risk of a plug, check out my review and then decide if you want to watch it, because the review is spoiler free, but it's not a good film at all.
Lance, since you are all things Netflix, I do have a good Netflix recommendation, if you'll indulge me before I bow out.
I thought you had to go. I was trying to wrap things up.
I do, but I wanted to give you something nice to as opposed to something shitty, because you like.
Well, I mean, you can do that on your regular weekly meeting with me, but go for it. Okay. What you got?
So if you have a chance and you are of Netflix fare, there is The Hunting Wives, based on the novel of the same name, and I was not feeling this, but again, the girlfriend subjected me to it, and I thought it was quite well done. Great performances by Brittany Snow, and it was really good. It's cheesy, and there's a lot of over the top stuff, and it's all things Tex. I really was hoping Enzo was going to be here, so we could see if he's seen it, because he loves this kind of stuff, Hallmark movie type stuff with lots of drama and sex and stuff, and plus it's set in Texas, near about where he's at. So I really was curious to see what he thought of this. So I was hoping.
Did you say it's called The Hunting Wives?
Yeah, it's down below if you want to pull it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it on Netflix right now, actually. Is it relatively new to Netflix?
It's one of. Oh yeah, it's just come out a couple week and a half ago, 2 weeks, maybe week and a half ago, give or take. If you have Netflix, it should be on your new. I think it's either number 1 or number 2 streaming right now as far as TV series or miniseries. So
not in the UK. It's not.
Oh no! I didn't know that was a thing.
No, we get the same releases as you, but we get, what people watch in the UK is not the same as the Americans.
Confused VPNs.
Yeah. Oh, we normally have better, more intellectual choices.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. You don't want to see hot chicks getting it on and stuff like that. That's not something that the UK.
We normally have things like we have America's Sweethearts. The Dallas cowgirl cheerleaders is normally our number 1.
Sure. Well, this has got a lot of
describing doesn't sound very cerebral at all.
This has a lot of cowgirl cheerleaders, and they're doing a lot of cheerleading on each other, if you know what I mean. So,
dude, I need to watch this.
Yeah. If you like the chick from whatchamacallit, that one comic book movie, the Watchmen. If you like her, and you like seeing her without any clothes on, she's basically spends the entire series nude, or the singer from Pitch Perfect, that the one that's not Anna Kendrick.
And with that, you've just done better marketing than Netflix could ever dream of.
Yeah.
Tell us about the intellectual qualities of this production. Is it well written?
It is well written. The dialogue is good. It's written in a way that it's very we have an expression here called summer reads. Like if you have a summer novel, like you pull open a book that you read by the pool or by the beach type thing, and it's got a lot of mystery and a lot of sex and a lot of that kind of thing going on. So, you know, there's a couple murders that are happening with these kind of trad wives, and this chick that has got a checkered past, played by Brittany Snow, and she's new to the trad wife club, so to speak. And she kind of gets
This is definitely on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a Netflix.
Okay,
It's a Netflix
I'm
original.
searching for it on the UK Netflix, and I'm not seeing it.
May not be available on the UK Netflix.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
what I'm thinking. I mean, that's weird because usually most things Netflix.
That
and
actually makes more
American-
sense to me, because since you hadn't brought it up at this point, I was so sure you would have been like, talks, got to check this out. You know, let me know. I was so sure. So I'd be willing to bet maybe it's not, which is strange because I thought we all had the same
I
menu.
thought I would have said talks. I've seen this thing with Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders getting it on. You need.
Well, actually, a couple of the characters,
stuff.
a couple of the characters in it are actually former Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and stuff like that. So,
right.
It's got naked ladies in it. The government's decided that we're not. You know,
oh yeah, your government doesn't want you seeing.
We're not allowed. No, we're not allowed naked ladies.
First.
They are protecting you from stuff like that. Well, anyway,
From yourself.
if you have other means to watch it, I would highly suggest. It's very interesting and a lot of eye candy, and it's, you know, it's a soapy, it's a soap basically, but pretty interesting and kind of really well directed too as well. Like they don't they do a little bit of that backwards forwards narrative storytelling, where you get a point of view for like just so long, and then they pull it back and show you from a different perspective. And I really like that. And they make good use of it in this. And Brittany Snow is great.
Here's the SP on it. The Hunting Wives was released on Netflix in the US on July 21st, 2025, with no confirmed UK release date yet. It's not clear if or when it will be available on Netflix UK.
It's too spicy for y'all.
Too spicy for you guys' blood over there. You know what? You know where they messed up, Lance. They don't have a Muslim character in it, so that's probably the biggest issue, that you guys don't have it. So that's, you know,
right. Yeah, could well be.
That's probably the problem. But thank you for indulging me in this. I hope you guys get a chance. I will do the. So does that mean there is no Nielsen ratings next Tuesday? Is that what you're telling me?
Why is that?
Because you said that the next we'd be doing something on. Oh, that is 7 days. I'm sorry, my math.
No. I mean, you know, I just said, you asked if we had any homework, and I said, yeah, I want people to watch this documentary, but I don't know that it'll be out in time for the next week.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I think it comes out the day off.
You know, the American public school system.
Yeah, especially the Florida one. Am I right? Well, just message me whatever the assignment is, and I'll be ready for next week. And
well, I mean, look at I don't think we'll have a specific one. Just look at stuff that you want to recommend, and old or new, and pick a choice each, and we'll do things the old-fashioned way. But in the meanwhile, here's some Hunting Wife action. There you go. Okay, that's guys, hot. we're gonna wrap it up there. Thanks to my panelists for coming on. Thanks to everybody for watching. I have to jump on a phone call to Australia now and get a poster corrected again. Hopefully, I'll get to talk to Enzo later today. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming on. Hopefully, we're going to get to do some chew the fats on the odd Sunday. But at the minute, my schedule is so rammed. I'm finishing post-production this week on Mauler's film. I'm also finishing my book because I want that to be done in time for the 5th of September, which is the last date. It's got to be ready before publication on the 12th of September. That's also not very far away. And then I'm also doing a couple of bits and pieces for other people. You know, and none of this stuff really pays any money, but it is keeping me very busy, and it's a means to an end. So there's all sorts of things in the pipeline that you know, these moves may help. So yeah, if it has nude girls, you probably need a VPN. Yeah, guys, how are those porn links looking, huh? Okay, on that bombshell,
get yourself a sponsorship with Surfshark or something, Lance. Then you go sorted.
we're gonna shoot off there, guys. Thanks to my panelists, Lord Toxic, Critical, Rachel Percy Art, Northern English, Brewster. Do check out their channels and content and so on. The links and whatnot are below. In the meantime, don't forget to tell the people that you care about, that you love them, and give them a call. Pick up the phone, let them know that they're okay. Am I hearing a purring cat from somewhere?
You are. I've been attacked by a cat that wants snuggles.
That's definitely a cue for our end credits.
Today